Hello everyone, this is Musketeer925 and this video is a quick tutorial on how to use queries and trigger coding for Age of Empires 3. And it's really pretty easy, pretty simple. I'm just going to go over all the commands with you and then we'll make a quick trigger. Well, we'll make a trigger as we're going along. I'm going to go ahead and pop open a second, or split this window, so that way we can make a trigger on the right side and show you all the commands that we're using on the left. The first one is KB unit query create, which is pretty simple. It creates our trigger, and we just need to, creates our query, so we just need to name the query. Let me set the language here to C++, where you can see it a little better. Alright, we'll just name this one unit query. And then the other thing we have to do with this one when we're using it is we have to stick this in a we have to stick this into a for loop because we have to assign it to a variable. So we'll say for QID, we'll just put it in the QID variable, equals that, which semicolon, which is greater than or equal to 9999, and something that it won't be greater than. That's all we got to do. And then we put our empty brackets, and yeah, and then we can put our command tags on it, and that one is ready to be moved over to the trigger. And let me set this one to XML. That way you can see what's going on over there too. Alright, now we've created our query. Next we'll pull over there's queries have 6 different parameters, I think. Yep, there's 6 there. And the first one is KB unit query set player ID. And we'll in here, in unit query ID, that takes the variable that we assign the name of the query to. So we'll stick QID in there, and int player. We'll use a player parameter, so stick U in there, and stick our command tags on, and our semicolon, can't forget that. And then we can create a quick parameter, param name equals, what should the name be? Player, that's right, because that's what we're referencing it from. Disp name equals player. Var type equals string. I like to make my player parameters as strings, so that way I can put like a quest var or whatever in there. Anyway, now we've got our first parameter. Next we'll pull the next parameter out, which is, oops, didn't mean to completely delete this here. I'm trying to leave a reference of each of the commands over on the left here. This one is KB unit query set unit type, so that way we've got this one we can specify a unit type with, and the int unit type ID. The way we use this one, we can get a unit type like the unit type drop down parameter we can use with this one. So that way we could find any military units or anything that's just a unit or a building or maybe even just a musketeer or whatever. It's pretty open-ended, but we have to use a special loop to be able to do that with a unit type parameter, so which is this thing that I just copied in. And it looks confusing, but it's not really that confusing. It's just a loop that goes through every unit and checks the name against the unit query name, or the name of the unit ID or something like that. Mr. SCP made it a while back, and I've just copied and pasted around whenever I'm using a query. So, although I'm going to rename this from all, it was called all, which doesn't make very much sense, to unit ID. Switch these. Where does that one need to be? Unit ID. So we'll stick that at the top and grab our parameter. I'm copying these in from my other screen because those don't really need explained. And grab this. That one needs to be unit ID. Put our command tags on and copy that over here. Next parameter that we'll go over is set state, which is kind of confusing one. This one a little bit. It's just not really that self-explanatory, I guess. Unlike some of the other ones, like player or whatever. This one it sets the unit state, which is either alive or dead. As far as I know, there are definitely others because alive is 2 and dead is 4. So there's obviously a 1 and a 3, but I don't really know what they are. So I don't worry about those, and we're looking for alive units. The trigger we're making right now is going to be change units in area, change the name of units in area. So that's what queries are used for. You find the units in area with that match your parameters with your trigger, and then you can just do whatever you want with all of them. So we'll set the state to alive because we don't want to change the name of a dead unit. That wouldn't be very helpful. Next is KB unit query set position, which is just your position of the unit, which is pretty simple. We'll put QID in and our vector point. So it needs to be a vector, so we put it in the vector function, and then we'll use a area parameter with it. We'll stick one of these up here, and then we can say dst point, put a semicolon on, and our command tags, and copy that over here. I'm not leaving references over there anymore, but that's alright. I think you guys can figure it out. Next is maximum distance, which goes right along with position. This is just your radius. So QID and radius. Just call this radius. Semicolon command tags, always important. Distance, and it doesn't really matter what order we put these in over here. I'm just putting them in this order. Alright, and we need a radius thing. Parameter, radius parameter. There we go. Now we got a radius parameter, and the last parameter that you can use with a query that I know of is KB unit query set ascending sort. I'm pretty sure is when this is on, when this is true, it will it sorts it so that by the ID of the unit, and I'm pretty sure when it's off, false, it sorts it by like the nearest unit to the position you define. And you can leave out any of these commands. You don't have to put in position or maximum distance or state if you don't want to, and it'll just go by its default. But I'm not really sure what this one does completely. Alright, I'm sorry there, I just got interrupted. Anyway, I was saying this is ascending sort, and I think I explained how to use that pretty much. About as much as I know about it. I just kind of put it in and put true or false on it, and if it works, I'll leave it there, and if it doesn't, I'll either take it out or switch it to the other one. Let's see what I used on the change name I made the other day. I used true, so we'll use true. It doesn't really make a difference on this one. And that's all of our commands. Well, not all of our commands, all of our parameters. The next command we use is KB unit query execute, which is that retrieves the number of results the query has. So like if it found 5 musketeers within the radius of the position you gave that are alive and of the player you define, then it'll return a number 5. So we just put QID in here, and then we're going to wrap this in a for loop. So for I equals that, semicolon, greater than equal to 0. Then we'll stick our brackets in, command. Well, actually we just want one bracket here because we're actually going to do something in this bracket. It's stick our command tags on it, stick that over here. Next we'll do something with it. Well, first we're gonna unit select clear, and then we select unit, use tr unit select by ID, and then we use kb unit query get result, and that gets the result in that position of the list of that the query made of results, and then so it gets that unit ID, particular unit ID, and it selects by ID, and then we have our what we actually want to do in that with that unit in the last row. In the last line, in this case, we're going to be changing the name. So let me grab a name parameter, which is just a string, and then we're done. Except for we have to throw on our effect. We get start and end effect tags, and then we have a effect that does something to units in an area, which is really, really amazing. And that's how we use queries. Thanks for watching, and give it a like if it helped you out, and I'll probably do another one of these on how to use arrays. I'm not going to wrap them all into one video, so just for the sake of time, and we'll see you later.